Jobs are what we need. We need jobs. And you and I have had some huge discussions about compliance and workman's comp and EPA and so on and so forth. And something that comes up to mind is the DART Container Company that you mentioned in one of our discussions right here in Corona. A huge employer, big company, been here forever. I'm going to leave it to you. Tell me what happened with DART.
Well, I'll be glad to. And again, this is an issue where, we have an environment here in California, and in particular in the Inland Empire, where businesses chose this location because of its location, because of its opportunity, because of its actual position within a number of different crossroads of trade, if you will, and a great location for business in total. The DART family found this as the premier place to be for them. And when they came here, they had a great business model, and they happen to have a particular product, polystyrene,
sure,
that's a little bit different in terms of how it's managed and how it's produced and how it's delivered into the economic platform of our great society. It's a little bit different than paper products. We understand that. But what DART did is they asserted themselves in finding new ways to manage their product. And most importantly, they even focused on an area about recycling, which brought that product back in, and they reused that and were able to reintroduce it in new lines and new products.
What a novel idea.
Absolutely. And again, it goes back to what I just mentioned about the SOPA Act, which is you let the industry identify its ways to solve challenges that are out there.
Right.
And DART did that. They've been a leader. They'll continue to be a leader in an industry that needs real leadership and less government, per se, getting in the way of what decisions can and should be made to identify that. So DART did that. But DART pursued all these great things and developed all these great business aspects, and yet at the same time, the state of California was aggressively pursuing a lot of environmental standards and other legal limitations that DART was overcoming, yet found themselves up against a very tough wall, because folks like the AQMD got involved and said, well, here we go. You want to produce your product, but we have air quality standards and things like that. Ultimately, what that led to was DART having to basically transition a significant portion of its business in this area, not only out of the area, not only out of the state, but out of the country, and now produces that material down in Mexico and has to ship it up here by truck, up the highway, up the freeway, which is totally incongruent, but with the blessing somehow with AQMD that's a better model.
So what you're saying is the same product that they were making here in Corona, they were employing people here in Corona. They were told that they couldn't make it here in Corona because of recycling and the problems at hand. So they took it out of the country, and the exact same product is coming back into the country without the employment, without the tax base that they brought to the city. DART was a great partner with the city of Corona.
They have always been a great partner, not only in terms of business, but in community engagement and involvement. And I'll tell you something, the other thing we don't have, and while I think, we have enjoyed being a leader throughout the world over the decades, over the centuries, of being a leader in business and helping work with other countries for trade agreements and things like that. The problem is that in the example of DART, we have a situation where the same product, as you said, continues to be produced. We've removed that economic base, that portion of the economic base of the DART family of business, and the employees that were here in Corona, in Norco, in Eastville, in the broader region that worked at DART, those people are not working for DART now. And now we have a different set of people working for DART out of the country.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily have the same assurances of the standards of the air quality that we knew we were abiding by here, that they simply needed to have AQMD and others in government work with them rather than in opposition of what they were accomplishing and achieving. Now we don't have those same assurances that those things are going on, and it's simply a matter of a border. Now,
exactly.
The air is still airspace, and whatever issues we have or concerns we had are still in existence. Yep. And now what we've done is put them in the position of having to ship their product up to this area to redistribute it to the areas that they serve from this portion of the country.
It's crazy.
Where in the past it was a far more efficient model.